The akara woman with a secret recipe. The akara woman with a secret recipe. This is Mama Ada, the famous akara seller. Her akara was unlike anything anyone had ever tasted. Golden brown on the outside, soft and airy on the inside, shone in every bite. People from neighboring villages traveled great distances to buy from her store, and her line stretched endlessly from dawn until dusk. When you taste her akara, you will be forced to ask, why is her akara so special in the market? Well, I don't know. Other akara sellers in the market marveled and envied her success. They tried to replicate her recipe, experimenting with spices, oil and beans, but nothing ever came close. Mama Ada akara was unique. Some said it was a gift from the gods, others whispered of a darker secret. Despite her popularity, Mama Ada was a solitary woman. She never accepted help, even when her customers begged her to expand her business. "I have everything I need," she would say with a thin smile. Her eyes, however, betrayed a coldness that unnerved anyone who looked too closely. It wasn't long before people started asking her outright, "Mama Ada, what makes your akara so delicious?" She would smile, shaking her head. "Ah, my secret is in my hands. They have been blessed by years of hard work." But her answers only deepened the curiosity. Vendors approached her with bribes, gifts, and offers of partnership, hoping to learn her recipe. She refused every single one. Even when Chief Omendiego, the richest man in Umode, placed a bag of gold coins on her counter, she simply smiled. "Ah, Chief," she said, pushing the gold bag towards him. "You cannot buy this kind of knowledge. My recipe is not for sale." The rejection only made her more mysterious. People whispered that she must have made a pact with spirits or used some kind of dark magic. Others believed she was simply gifted. Among the market regulars was a young boy named Emeka, whose grandmother sold akara too, though her small stall rarely had more than a handful of customers. Every night, Emeka listened to her grumble about Mama Ada. "She must be hiding something," the old woman would say. "No one gets that much success without help from the other side." Emeka, curious by nature, decided to find out the truth for himself. He began watching Mama Ada from a distance, noting how she walked. Her beans looked no different from his grandmother's. Her oil didn't smell special. So what was her secret? One night, he followed her home. Her house, a large structure on the edge of the forest, was quiet, with a faint light twinkling in the kitchen window. Emeka crept closer, his heart pounding, and peered inside. What he saw made his blood run cold. Mama Ada stood before a large mortar and pestle, grinding beans with practiced efficiency, but as she walked, She reached into a sack beside her and pulled out a pale, lifeless hand. Without hesitation, she dropped it into the mortar, grinding it into the mixture. Emeka's stomach turned. He covered his mouth to keep from screaming as she added more body parts, flesh, bones, and fingers, all disappearing into the batter. She walked humming a haunting tune, as though it were the most natural thing in the world. Emeka stumbled away, his breath raged. He couldn't believe what he had seen. Mama Ada's success wasn't a blessing, it was a curse. Her secret ingredients were human flesh. The next morning, Emeka told the elders what he had witnessed. At first, no one believed him. Mama Ada, the kind woman who gave free akara to children and the elderly, impossible. But Emeka's trembling voice and vivid description convinced them to investigate. When they raided her home, the evidence was undeniable. Hidden beneath her house was a dark, cold basement filled with decomposing bodies, some dismembered, others freshly killed. Some of the bones and bloodstained tools lined the walls. Mama Ada didn't deny it. When the elders confronted her, she simply said, "I only gave the people what they wanted." She said with a chilling smile, "Delicious akara. They couldn't get enough." The people of Umode were horrified. Mama Ada was dragged to the village square, where she was paraded in shame. Yet, even as she faced judgment, she showed no remorse. "You will miss my akara," she called out to the crowd. "None of you will ever taste anything like it again." Mama Ada was banished, her home burned to the ground, but the scars she left on Umode lingered. The market grew quiet, and no one dare sells akara again. The mere thought of it sickened the townsfolk. Over time, her tale became a warning. Parents told their children of Mama Ada, the akara seller, who paid for her greed with her soul. Travelers whispered the story in hushed tones, reminding one another to be wary of food that tasted too good to be true. But deep in the forest, where no one dares to venture, some say the scent of fine akara still lingers, carried on the wind like a ghostly reminder of her dark legacy.